my wonders, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. If you are new to my channel, hi. This is the home of the Forever Theater Kid. I am a cruise ship singer, performer, living on the high seas, living my best life, traveling the world with my husband, and giving you cruise ship and theater related content weekly. I want you to be able to call this place home, where you will not feel judged, you will feel loved and accepted, that you can just rock up wearing whatever you want, fooling people when I'm really wearing these crazy pants. And you can subscribe to my channel right now, and I will give you that moment to do so. Today I am so excited to be giving you a video I've been wanting to do for a really long time. It is the 10 most frequently asked questions that I get as a cruise ship singer. Now, these questions are from guests. They are from people who want to be cruise ship singers or want to work on cruise ships to some capacity. From 10 down to 1, here are the most frequently asked questions that I get as a singer on a cruise ship. If there are any questions that you would really love to be clarified more or would love a whole video on, just leave down below which of these questions you want clarified and really gone into depth. Number 10, first question I always get, always get, are you allowed off the ship? No, we're not allowed off the ship. We're prisoners. We have to go to work, clock in, clock out, and go right back to our room. No, we are allowed off the ship as often as we don't have work. For performers, for the most part, our main job is at night. As you can see, I have so many vlogs, so many travel vlogs, which I'll leave a playlist of the travel vlogs I have. We've gone to really beautiful places. I mean, that's one of the reasons why working on a ship is a huge dream for some people, because you get to travel the world, and for us, we're traveling the world singing and dancing as our job, so it's a pretty sweet gig. I mean, I've seen places I probably would not have seen if I never worked on a ship. It's incredible, you know? I mean, there are upsides and downsides to every job, but the upsides to ours is that we see the entire world and we get to save a lot of money and we get to do what we love. Number 9 question that we would get in either like talkbacks, what is your training? Most people who come on ships have been trained to some capacity, whether it's in dance, voice, or acting. When people ask this question, I usually tell them that I started singing when I was really young, because my mom was a singer. My mom is a singer, and so I grew up with music my entire life. Almost everyone in my family has some type of artistic ability to them, and mine was really performing on stage, and that's where I chose to take my creative outlet. And I was really lucky that I had parents who supported my love for the arts, and yeah, I had a backup in college when I went to study it in college, but I mean, it was communications, so it's probably the most vague backup of all time. Parents are gonna be like, oh my god, don't say this to my child. But when it comes down to it, you don't have to go to college for training. If you go to an audition and you kick butt and you out personality everyone in the room, you'll most likely get the job. For cruise ships, I know with my company, again, I've never worked for another company, but I would say 75% of the job of a cruise ship performer is customer service. I think it helps tremendously if you've worked some type of customer service job in the interim before working ships and not working ships. Something in the hospitality business, whether it's food, retail, I don't know, to work with people and to be able to take on people's grievances with a smile and pass that grievance along to someone who can actually help them, that's a great thing to have. Some people are meant for ships and some people are not meant for ships. You could do one contract and be like, that's done, never doing that again. Or you could work ships for 20 years. I know people literally on both sides of the spectrum. All right, next question we get often as a cast, especially at talkbacks, is, do you travel as a group? Short answer to that is no. It's yes and no, kind of depends. No in terms of, are we hired as a group together? We're kind of handpicked from the whole pool of performers that are in my company's database and what our availability is. And sometimes you got magic that happens between your cast, and sometimes you don't, and that's okay. You're never gonna know that until you're actually working with people. So Gabe and I will always go together as a package. I have many other friends who are married or are engaged that do travel from cast to cast together. Also usually request ships and put availability dates at the same time if you want to be with certain people. But most of the time you come together at rehearsals, have about a month of rehearsals, and then you're on a ship with each other for about 7 to 9 months, depending on your contract. and then you part ways and you hope to work together in the future. That group and those shows and that ship probably will never happen again. Going along with that, the next question we get asked often is, do you choreograph your shows and do you make your own costumes? Again, no. We don't. We have Broadway directors that help create shows. We have really well-known choreographers that help create shows. Epic Rock is done by a choreographer that has worked with really, really incredible people like Sam Smith and One Direction. His name's Paul Roberts, so he's worked with really cool people. That choreographer is used quite often in the shows that are created by my company. You've probably already figured out the company I work for. Is this the video where I tell you who I work for? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna say. It's not the right time. If I feel this uncomfortable, I'm not going to tell you. When we're in rehearsals, we try our very best with our supervisors that have been taught the choreography, that teach us. We try to do the best interpretation of the original choreography as we can. Are the intentions always right? Yes. A lot of that comes down to the supervisors, how they teach us. And so there's always like varying little differences in choreography. Just try to take the choreography, the way it's been taught to you, and put it on your body the way that you can and make it your own at the same time. And then for costumes, no, we don't create our own costume. We do have a seamstress or seamster or seamstress that will mend the costumes if they get ripped or caught on something during a show, which happens quite a lot, especially with lifts with the girls, especially with wear and tear on the costumes themselves, because the same costumes will stay on the ship once they're brought on and then once they go through different casts. Now that's fun, especially when you're a girl who has a butt and hips and is curvier, and then it's originally was created on a girl who's a very opposite body type than you. So those are things when I'm like, I really wish there were more spares in the lockers, because not everything fits homegirl over here. A couple of costumes have had to be mended to my body type, but hey, thank you. Say the audience likes my booty. They sure do. Number 6, where do you live on the ship? I live on the bottom of the ship. On all the ships that I've worked on, now some ships are different obviously. Some ships, the cabins are right behind the backstage area, which I wish I worked on a ship where that happened, because life would be so much easier. Ship problems. My room is on deck 3, which is right below sea level. So when it's really rocky, it's pretty rocky tonight. It's starting to kick up. We actually just feel kind of like the rock of the ship, which is kind of nice, kind of lulls you to sleep. You know, like cruise directors and officers and stuff like that, they live up top, they live more among the guests, but we live below the guests. Next question. Do you do your own hair and makeup for shows? Yes, we do. A lot of people think that we have someone on our team that does our hair and makeup for us. Now sometimes we'll help each other if there's a certain hairstyle that some people like or want to do braids and they can't do French braids well on themselves. We'll help each other. But for the most part, we're doing our own hair and makeup. I have links below of show videos. I'll put them here of tutorials or looks that I've done in my shows. Those are real-time looks. That's what I do for every show. I would say for me, for the most part, my hair and makeup takes about an hour and a half to get it all done. And I don't like to rush during my makeup. Some people probably hear that and go, ugh. Number 4. So what does your day commonly look like? Since we work nights, I will usually wake up later in the morning because I like to get a good amount of sleep, as much sleep as I can, because to be able to do the shows at night, I really need to have as much energy stored up as possible. Unless I have to for a training, which I had to wake up today at 8:45 for a training on my day off. Pissed. Flames at the side of my face, heaving breaths. Oh, so mad. Moving on. So yeah, so usually I won't wake up before 10 most days. Going to bed at midnight, 1 a.m. to 10, that's a good amount of sleep. Then if we can get off the ship that day, if it's like a day where we have time, where I'm feeling like super good and I want to be like productive and get a lot of internet, I'll go off the ship and find a spot to get some internet. Most of the time I'll get into the gym for a workout around 2. I'll try to be in the gym by 2 and be in the gym for about an hour, hour and a half, because I need to start getting ready for shows. To be prepped and to really feel like I'm ready for the shows, I need to get in the shower by 4:15, and then I have like all the time to prep for shows, because sound check for us is at 6 o'clock, and then shows are 7:15 and 9:15, and then if there's an after party or an after show. I would say, I honestly, like, I clock in, I start work when I'm at the gym. So people don't always think that performers have long hours, but for us to do our job properly, safely, and strong, we have to be in the gym. You know, for me to feel good and that my body's warm and has been moving and my voice is up and my voice is awake, So yeah, so that's my day. And then after the shows, usually Gabe and I will watch some TV. We'll watch some Great British Bake Off. We'll have a snack, have a drink. Not this month, dry January. Oh my God. And then we'll go to bed. That's a general day. I've also done videos on what a general day in the life of a cruise ship performer is. Linked above and below. Next question we get asked quite often is, what do you do between cruises / how long are you on a cruise for? There is no between cruises for us. And that goes for everybody on the ship, unless you're a fly-on performer or sometimes comedians, specialty people that come on the ship. For us, when a cruise ends, when you leave, we get a whole new group of guests that come on hours later. So you get people off, everybody's off the ship hopefully by like 10, and then you get a whole new flock of people on the ship by 11. So it's such a quick turnover. So I have to give it up for every other department on the ship that literally makes this ship go. I will never discount all the hours that people put in for housekeeping and bar staff, food services. It's crazy the amount of hours that people put in. They work so hard. So if you ever are cruising on a ship, treat them well because they work really hard. And then how long are we on for? Contracts, like I said earlier, contracts usually last between 6 to 9 months. I've heard some people have 10 months, but that's usually with a rehearsal period on land. And you know what? And different companies are different. Some people's companies, they're on for 11 months at a time. I've heard those companies, you'll like sign a contract to do 3 11-month contracts all in one. You'll do 11 months, have a vacation, 11 months, have a vacation, 11 months, and be done with your contract. You'll actually travel around with that same group of people. So every company's a little different. But the way my company works is, like I said earlier, a group is formed, you rehearse, you do the shows for 7 months, you leave, peace out, vacation, on to the next ship. Number 2 is, do you eat what the guests eat? Yeah. Sometimes we do. People in entertainment and other staff have what we call guest area privileges. Different times of the day where we're allowed to go up to guest areas to buy a coffee, like tonight Gabe and I got some sushi. You can also go to the Lido deck where it's like the buffet food. It's a special occasion and our manager is able to set it up. We can go to the dining room and have a really nice dinner, especially if it's like we just went for my manager's birthday last cruise. We went for brunch and we also went for dinner, so we were just like any opportunity we can get to like have the nice food, we will. But for the most part, we eat in our mess. I mean, honestly, if I ate on Lido deck all the time, like I'd have to live in the gym. I mean, I enjoy, but I can't gorge myself to death. Because I also can't do the shows if I'm eating that crazy amount of greasy food all the time. I mean, we also have our own cafeteria, our own mess. It's called the crew mess. You know, honestly, I think I'm gonna make a whole other video on this, on survival foods to eat on ships, because there's not too much that I can eat in most messes. A lot of the time, since honestly, like most of our crew, we have people from Indonesia, we have people from China, we have people from Japan, we have people from the Philippines. We have a huge Filipino population on cruise ships. So a lot of the food is catered towards their cultures, which I think is great, but also like for me personally, like I can't eat a lot of the food because it's just too spicy. Although it breaks my heart, I honestly can't eat anything with a single spice. So it's a lot of salads, it's a lot of grilled chicken, it's a lot of peanut butter and jelly. So I don't eat in the mess as often, most crew members do, but we do have our own eating areas. But we can, if we'd like to, eat upstairs once in a while. The number one question I get all the time is, how do you work on a cruise ship? How I got my job was I auditioned in New York City. I had to audition a couple times because the first time it didn't go great, I suppose. I got cut first round. Every cruise ship company that you want to perform with, if you want to be a singer or a dancer, you have to audition. Whether it's a live audition or if it's a taped audition and you send in your reel or you send in something specific. It depends on the company and maybe even like a key contact person that you have with them. That's how it goes. You can't just send in a resume. You gotta send in something visual for them to see or really knock it out in audition. I think the way I got my job was really personality based. It's funny because at the time I didn't think I was a good enough singer, like a singer dancer, what I am right now. I didn't think I was strong enough, but I went to the dancer call. Just from seeing the shows on the ships, I recognized what they wanted in a cast member, and I really went all ham in with my personality and giving face and showing off in the audition. Honestly, like I gave as much of my personality, I put myself out there, and I really like left it all on the floor, and then I was able to come back and sing. I must have done a good job because I'm still here. And sometimes it's a no. A lot of times it's a no. Almost every other cruise company didn't want me, at least at the time. and then this one did. So, and I've been very happy to have this job ever since. I get to work with my husband and I get to travel the world, so it's not too freaking shabby for someone who sings and dances for a living. So guys, that's it. Those are the most frequently asked questions that I get from cruise ship guests and also performers who are curious about ship life in general. If there's anything that I missed, if there are any questions that you have burning desires to know, please leave them down below. Or if you are a performer on ships and you watch my channel and you have anything to add to any of the questions that I put out there, leave them down below, because this is only my experience, obviously, so I can't speak for everybody. But for the most part, these are the generalized, most frequently asked questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I want you to feel like you're at home here. This is the home of the Forever Theater Kid. This is a place where you can be as weird as you want and no one's gonna judge you. And if they judge you, they can leave. Goodbye. We don't need you. We don't need that energy here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big old thumbs up. That would mean the world to me. And make sure that you subscribe for more content. I will be bringing you more and more as the weeks progress. And staying consistent and not consistent and being myself. Goodbye, my wonders. I love you so much. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to peace, love, subscribe, and look at my background. Ish.